Hello, my dear, lovely humans. I have a channel message for you today. Let's see what wants to come through. Be open to the experiences that you are going to be you are going to be having over the next couple weeks, due to the fact that there are going to be incremental changes in the systems that are in place on your planet. When you look into the idea that there are greater potentials for what there is for you to be moving into in your global systems, these possibilities will begin to unfold into different potentials and timelines. This means that as you continue to move forward with a critical analysis of what is happening, what is no longer working, what could be improved, these potentials begin to take place, they begin to take form, and they begin to move you into directions that you would maybe have not moved otherwise. That is why these events must unfold, so that you are able to bring yourself into a greater context, into an idea of reality that was not possible or potential up until this point. Regardless of external circumstances, the discussion of these factors, the discussion of these external happenings, the potentials for external happenings, are what create and plant the seeds of creation in the minds of the collective consciousness. It is the collective consciousness that creates these new awarenesses, creates these new external means for experiencing reality in new ways. You must agree as a collective for these experiences to take place, otherwise they stay in the hearts and minds of some, while some continue to experience the old. It is the entirety of the collective, or the majority of the collective, that must experience and believe something for collective shifts to take place in the collective awareness. We desire to give you the message that as you move through the external happenings taking place on your planet, bring yourself into an internal state of balance. Accept yourself, accept your emotions, your energies, your environment, exactly as it is, in this moment, right now, before you begin to take the necessary steps in the experience of projecting them outward. So basically they're saying, regardless of what's happening externally, making sure that you're bringing yourself into an internal state of balance, making sure that you're coming back into your heart, into your body, doing breathing, stretching, exercising, whatever that looks like for you. And then start to think about what it is that you want to be experiencing. What do we want to be experiencing as a collective? What systems do we want to have in place as a collective? The things that are happening externally, the potentials even of what can be happening externally, like, the potential for some kind of, collapse of various systems, is really the only thing that's needed. Just talking about the potentials is the only thing that's needed for us to begin to get our minds directed into a direction that we are moving forward and creating new systems, things that do work for us, things that do work for humanity and the greater collective in general. And when we aren't thinking about these things, that's when they need to happen on an external level. That's when we need to get shaken up. That's when our fears and our comfort and the places that we cling onto old versions of self and old versions of the planet, that's when those things have to take place. So if we're already thinking about these things, if we're already moving in positive directions, that's when things don't necessarily have to shake us up as bad. And that's also why the guides have said some of these external events and some of these external happenings are going to happen to some groups more than others, because some that are not awake to the idea that we're in a matrix system at all are going to be the ones that need to be shaken up out of it the most. Okay, anything else? We also wish to let you know that as you continue to move forward in this direction of your timing, that there are going to be things that need to be experienced so that you are able to bring yourself into your higher vibrational awarenesses. It is important to let yourself know and to let go of all of the alternatives that have not worked out up until this point. It is important to acknowledge the thoughts and the feelings, the different pathways that may have been important to you at one point in time, but are no longer holding the same relevance or resonance. And as you acknowledge the things that need to come up, you are allowing for them to fall away out of your energetic field, out of your field of awareness, and into new pathways you step forward into. Please make sure that as you experience the unfolding of this reality, that you keep yourself as centered and grounded as possible, as these changes are big changes. They are intense, and you are allowed to experience them as intense. The shaking up of old and the creation of new is not something to be taken lightly. It is something that has taken time and experience and was only offered to the souls that were ready to experience this kind of monumental change and shift in consciousness. The beings that are on your planet are those that have signed up to experience this shift, to experience it together, and move into a greater sense of oneness and unity through this process. We wish you to know that you are here as special souls that desired to be able to make a difference, that desired to be able to sit with and experience deep contrast, that signed up to experience oneself as a soul in a body, experiencing density, pain, limitations, suffering, to be able to move through those things and experience yourself as the vibrant, light, bright being that you are on the other side of it. And only a very few number of individuals will be experiencing this deep level of contrast from one pole to the other, from density to light. And this is a very special undertaking. So have faith, have trust, and know that you are one of these divine souls that have signed up for this experience. You are exactly where you need to be, and there is nothing that can take you off the path. You are so very loved. Okay, I think that's the message for today. They weren't giving direct offerings in terms of what is actually going to be happening on an event level, because as we know, when we create expectation, we create resistance. Really, it's just like when we're manifesting, if we're constantly putting out the energy of I don't have this yet, or it's I'm anticipating something to come in, we can't be in the energy of anticipation and also have something come in at the same time. We have to be in an energy of surrender and acceptance, and really just letting go in general for some of these things to continue to flow forward. So being in the energy of okay, this has already happened, I'm already in this energy, and at the bare minimum, just accepting exactly where you are at this present moment in time. So I love you all, and I hope you have a beautiful rest of your day.